All right, everybody, welcome back. We are here for round number 2 of our Modern NRG Championship trial here at Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I'm Epimani. I'm joined by Brad Brown. We have a sweet little one here. It is Alan's son, who is kind of newer to the area. I think I remember speaking to him last week, or maybe it was, I can't remember what day it was, but last week. He has a couple Grand Prix top 8s under his belt. I believe they're limited ones, but he's definitely got some chops to him. And then obviously Andrew Tenjum is very well known in the Magic community, especially around this area. So we have a blue-white control versus Tenjum's playing green-white company. He has like a really minor splash of blue for some sideboard cards, but nothing in the mains. So should be interesting to see. Typically, the Supreme Verdict deck is good against creature combo.
Yeah, and he's got a Settle the Wreckage and 4 Terminus is his main board.
Gotcha.
Sweep. So he's kind of like a blue-white Miracles deck. I'm lumping them all together at this point, calling them control.
I think Tenjum missed his second land drop, it looks like here.
Yeah, but he's still got 3 mana.
Sure does.
And like, if he knows Alan was on Path to Exile for whatever reason, sometimes Tenjum will scout the room. I know he won his first round really quickly.
Yep.
He might know what Alan's on.
What do we got here to start things off? Militia Bugler. So this is kind of a newer addition to this deck. Militia Bugler lets you find the combo pieces, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's an interesting take.
Yeah, so he has like 4 Vizier Remedies, 4 Devoted Druid, and then like Dustwatch Recruiter, Eternal Witness, just things like that is what he's going for. I didn't see, did he miss there? He couldn't have missed, right? I didn't see I was looking down at his deck list. And
yeah, I was too, actually.
So I'm wondering what he's taking here. So we're going to find out here from our table judge. And then, yeah, it's totally my fault. I was looking down at the list to see if there was anything else. So he goes ahead and plays a Hallowed Fountain here. It looks like is that an opt?
That is an opt.
Old
school opt, yep.
Okay. All right, so old school opt here from Alan. Going to bottom that one pretty quickly. Going to look. All right, going to fetch probably down to 19. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I think Tenjum actually played this deck at the last tournament, and he was pretty close to the top 8 if I'm remembering correctly as well. So yeah, he did miss. Wow, he whiffed on that?
Yeah.
How many creatures? I can't count, Brad.
Well, I mean, he's got 4 Chord and 4 Collecting Company, plus all the
30.
lands.
There's 30 creatures in here. Half.
I mean, it's got to be low odds.
Somebody run the numbers.
Someone call Frank.
Yeah, someone call Frank. Someone get out the calculator and do it. I'm trying to check out Alan's hand. I think there's a Path to Exile. There's a Vendilion Click, which is happening. And
so
Tenjum just gonna show him.
Yeah, Tenjum's like, hey, you're targeting me, just to confirm.
Yeah, he so I've I don't know if you want to call it gotten got by that before. When I first started playing, I was like, oh, okay, and just reveal my hand.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, I'll target myself. And I was just like, come on, man, that's not all right.
Well, in like certain matchups, you definitely want to target yourself a lot. I know in like the control matchups, people tend to target themselves to make their hand a little bit better.
Yep. So Tenjum's hand's actually pretty solid here. You know, he has this Eternal Witness, the Shalai. The Walking Ballista is a card, that he needs to kill Alan with, essentially, unless he's attacking a bunch.
Right.
So getting rid of this other piece of the combo is pretty good.
A little surprised he left him with Shalai, but that would make me think he has a Path to Exile.
I believe he has Path to Exile. I believe that's one of the cards, and I think the other was a Cryptic Command that I saw in his hand here. Jace as well. 3 of Alan's 6 cards.
His hand is pretty stacked then.
Yeah, actually that's where I remember it. So I watched Alan play on Wednesday night, actually. So speaking of Dakota doing the Wednesday night, I watched Alan play this blue-white control deck. I believe to a 4-0. I watched one of the matches, and then I'm old and I went to bed. So I was like, I can't watch blue-white anymore. So went to bed.
I hear you, man. I gotta work for the UK right now. I'm up super early.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Goodness. So speaking of Shalai does hit the field, and that's kind of a newer one. So I'm gonna pop that one up on screen.
Man, I love Shalai.
I am aware that you love this card.
This card is phenomenal.
I'm aware that you love this card. So Shalai is a 3 generic, 1 white, 3/4 legendary angel, which is kind of important. Flying, and then it says you planeswalkers you control and other creatures. So other creatures you control have hexproof. The other ability is semi-significant. It's 4 green, so 6 mana total. Put a +1/+1 count on each creature you control. You get there sometimes, but again, Shalai doesn't have hexproof. The other creatures do. So
right, and that's really why they're playing this card in this deck. Now you do have a lot of mana to generate, so this is a situation where Alan's going to need to remove the Shalai this turn, right? So he's got 6 mana in play right now. Alan if he doesn't do anything, Andrew can just bump the team, which is pretty big. Now he wouldn't be able to attack with the devoted druids or
Right.
the birds, but
That is true.
Now
So
Alan does have those 4 board wipes though, so like
4 of them, huh?
yeah, I mean, well,
It's
5
4 Terminus and a
settle,
and
yeah.
a settle. Man, that's pretty good.
But settle's actually really bad here. You
Yeah.
can't shall I shut off settle because
It's
you can't be targeted.
Yeah. Notably, settle the wreckage is target player. I believe you have to target a player in order to cast that. So
So it looks to me like he is putting a terminus back on top.
I mean that's pretty good, So Tenjum's probably hip to that. I'd be very surprised if Tenjum gets blown out and puts a bunch of stuff on the field to get terminus.
I mean, there's already 5 permanents.
Yeah, I mean this is fine for him though, right? At this point,
Yeah.
It's not fine. Terminus is going to feel real bad, but that's just kind of what I signed up for. I'd be surprised if Tenjum doesn't just Alpha Strike and maybe put counters on everything. I don't know. It kind of depends what he has.
He'd only be attacking with 2 creatures unless he has a land.
Right.
But that's still like. I definitely agree. I would be very concerned about terminus next turn, or a supreme verdict.
After Jace brainstorms once, you just gotta feel like it's coming.
Yeah,
some sort of sweeper
definitely.
is coming.
Definitely. Well, and every time they brainstorm, I just think, okay, their hand's like really good now.
Yeah.
They've just gotten rid of their 2 worst cards.
So when we refer to brainstorm, so for people who aren't kind of hip to like legacy cards, Jace's 0 ability on the Planeswalker lets you draw 3 cards, and then you can put them back in any order. 2 cards back, basically, is how it is. So it's drawing you a card, and it's kind of funneling through your deck. Very powerful with things like Field of Ruin you see from Alan, and then, of course, the fetch lands is some way that you get a lot of extra equity. You have to look at a lot of cards with Jace.
So we have Gavany Township now.
Okay.
So it's actually cheaper to just activate Gavany than it is to...
Sure thing. So if he activates Gavany here, yeah, so there's probably not a collected company or something like that. I think you can kind of deduce.
Well, yes and no, right? So like, a smart player is going to play around the sweeper I just put on top of my deck.
Sure.
So he's probably not going to fire off a collected company.
Also,
but he also needs to get the Jace off the field.
Yeah. That's true. I meant post sweeper. We could
Sure.
hold up the hold up the collected company.
If I'm Alan, I don't think I
Yeah.
won't know for sure if Alan has a
Fair.
collected company yet.
Fair. So Alan.
I think next turn will be the big. So this is an interesting decision. I like this. This is a play I don't see a lot of players make. Andrew's basically gonna put -1 counters on his devoted druid until it
Yep.
dies. He'll probably only do it with 1, and let the other one go to the bottom.
Do you want to sacrifice him just for? So he wants to sacrifice
Well, he has an
one.
E-Witness in his hand,
Exactly for the Eternal
Yes.
Witness, right?
and that's basically it. Your graveyard is a resource in this deck.
So I believe Alan should be at 14. I believe 14 or 13 here, because I think he took the hit off of the Militia Bugler.
No, they killed the Jace.
Oh, he killed the Jace. Excuse
Right.
me. Okay.
Both went at Jace,
You're
and
right.
he blocked
Gotcha.
with the click.
Speaking of Jace, here's our favorite Planeswalker. It's hard for me to believe this game's not over on an empty board. Jace on an empty board against Greenlight Company.
Yeah, Alan hasn't played a fetch yet. I think once a fetch hits the field, I start to worry about that. Like, he could be, locked with some really bad cards on top that he doesn't need. But with no pressure on the field, I do really worry.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. And Tenjum doesn't have a second green source either here, so he's just sending the 1.
Ooh, we found that was a good pickup for the turn.
Yeah. And another Bugler. Bugler into Bugler.
Yeah,
This is
chaining.
the combo, if you will.
He has to get to that walking bliss at the bottom of the deck somehow.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble here. And Alan, I believe, has a Cryptic Command in hand, too. So he's really Cryptic Path. He's just
got
stacked.
so many cards.
I mean, he's brainstormed to Jace 2 times now.
And Andrew's down to a 2.
Down to 2 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, this game's probably over. Minus Andrew maybe kind of getting a little knowledge of the deck or something like that. So we're going to start Fate Sealing. Now you know the game's over.
Yeah, I mean...
When you start to Fate Seal, that means my hand's good enough.
Right.
I hope you have just blanks on top of your deck.
Right. That's exactly right.
So yeah, Alan says you can keep that one. Probably a land or something like a Bird of Paradise maybe for Andrew. Something that Alan just really, truly doesn't care about.
Gotta be careful with even birds with Gavany in play, though.
Fair. So here comes the Bugler.
I do like...
Just like slam counter this thing.
I almost want to counter...
And bounce the other one.
Yeah.
You just set him back a lot.
can counter tap if you want, but bounce is obviously better.
Yeah, I was going to say, make sure Alan has a tap 3 blue there,
Okay.
notably.
You just go with draw.
So there's a Noble Hierarch. Okay.
So I think
Down to 2 for the Jace.
we'll see.
We're just in lots and lots of trouble, though, because there's also an active Celestial Colonnade now.
I think we'll see a brainstorm now, right? Well,
I don't think so, man. Not with the Colonnade, I don't think.
yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of matters what he does with his mana.
Yeah. 2 colorless and a blue here. We're going to field this Gavany Township off.
Smart.
Yep.
So we know there's not a colonnade block.
So this is not a PPTQ. I know somebody just asked a question. So at Nerd Rage Gaming here in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, we do monthly 2Ks. So this is a $2,000 cash tournament. We're playing for the end of the year championship, so there's points on the line, qualifications for our end of the year 10K. It's coming up in December. Man, I can't believe how close December is. You know,
right? I'm excited. I'm so excited.
We talked about me and you were like walked outside this morning, and I was like, was I supposed to bring a jacket
Right?
today?
That's what I thought. I was like, why am I cold?
Yeah, it's getting close to the championship, and I'm super excited for it. I did it last year. I know it's going to be your first one, and I talk about it all the time, and I can't wait for everyone to get to witness that. It's really cool. The details on our 2-day event are coming up at the end of the month here. We've hammered them out, and it's a unique event. It's very cool, so be on the lookout for that. I mean, Tenjum's grinding, I guess.
He just gets a bugler here, right?
I think you're just bugling, and like,
well,
I mean, he's not getting a bugler. Yeah, so
I like counter bounce, man.
Bouncing the other bugler.
Yeah, just
protect your Jace and just
you from Jace. You're drawing cards anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's going to go down to 1 now?
Yep.
I don't know. Tenjum has no cards. Who cares, really? This Jace is just doing stuff.
I guess you give him a little bit of value if you...
Well,
Jesus.
Well, now I think I'm fate sealing here. I have infinite
Is that
cards.
a hieroglyphic elimination?
Sure is. So
he's playing 2, yeah.
So somebody, I don't know who it was. It might have been Cedric. I watched, and he's just like, why is this card in their deck? I don't know. I mean, that's something Cedric would say, right? So,
yeah.
So Cedric would actually be totally disgusted. There's been multiple militia buglers cast this game. I think it's probably fine in this deck, because you need your combo. Your combo pieces are all creatures, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, the hieroglyphic elimination is something else. Something else. Well, they got rid of Sphinx's Revelation, so now you got to play something else, right?
This deck feels a little slow. Andrew's deck does.
Yeah, I don't think this is the matchup he wants at all. Not even in the slightest.
Yeah.
So does Alan have a Snapcaster Mage or something? He has a Path
He has
Exile.
a Path Exile, yeah.
Okay, like this doesn't do none of these. That's the problem with Andrew's deck. Once you get swept or Terminus once, your game's just mostly over. So elimination. I'm done. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
There's an Oust. I mean,
Opt?
Yeah, Opt. I mean, Alan just has everything. Andrew couldn't attack that turn because he would have just traded with a Colonnade, so he's kind of like just covered on all bases.
I actually wasn't a big fan of the Opt. I don't think he needed to use it. Like, I think he had enough resources in his hand, and he could potentially set up a Terminus on Andrew's turn.
Sure. He's just kind of churning through things, I guess. At this point.
I mean, like, he just drew 2 fresh cards with Elimination. He sells Brainstorms.
Look, man, when you have 7 cards, you got to start gassing them, though.
That's true. It just replaces itself, though.
I know. It's just so silly. Ousting that.
Get out of here. You can have some life.
I'm pretty surprised that Andrew hasn't just said, you know what, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, I mean...
Get your blue source, I guess.
Yeah, how many
I think there's only 3. There's a breeding pool, and there's 1 Hallowed Fountain. There's
right, but he has
2?
Nobles and Birds.
Yes, Nobles and Birds.
Okay.
So, like, we'll probably get to it here in a minute, but Andrew's sideboard is what those cards are about, basically.
I'm just curious how much Field of Rune's going to be able to shut him off from that strategy.
I don't think it's reasonable to get shut off of it. It could be.
I mean, with 8 1 mana, I mean, depends on how many birds he cuts, I guess.
100%.
Which I imagine he's cutting all 4 of them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Noble can stay in because it can threaten.
What are we really doing? Playing birds up here? Oh, good. What are we really doing? I think I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore. Trying to find a way to get through this game. And it's 17-21 now, so, I mean, Andrew has a lot of work to do to get back into the game. Just continuing to chip this Jace.
Man.
That feels so bad. That's like...
Anytime I attack a Planeswalker and I don't kill it, I feel bad.
How rude is this detention sphere right here? We just jam and get both Hierarchs? I just picked my stuff up here. All of it, Andrew. Nicely
Yep.
done. Good,
Yep.
good choice. That is a life EV move, if you're familiar with the term. So, Alan's son going to win game 1 here, which I think is a great matchup for him. Creature-based deck's probably pretty good for the sweeper deck.
That's also combo. So you have like these
Yeah.
number of creatures that just, at least in game 1, that just aren't good.
Yep.
That Andrew can draw into that really just help him ramp. And if Alan can keep the board clear, like the first tournaments, I think is just going to be lights out, especially in game 1.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to take a peek here at Andrew's deck list, and we'll try and see if this gets a little bit better, which it certainly does. So we talked about the breeding pool and the hallowed fountain and like the birds and the noble hierarchs helping Andrew with some of this game plan. So he has a pair of unified will and a pair of negates. Those are almost certainly coming in. He has a reclamation sage, which is close. This is a deck where that knight would have been incredible. The Knight of Autumn would be very good instead of this Rex Sage.
Right,
destroying.
It
can be a 4/3 attack, and it can destroy things like Detention Sphere.
He also has these 2 Gaddock Teagues that I really like.
There's a pair of Gaddock Teagues, and there's a Phyrexian Revoker, which is pretty narrow, but getting Jace is a big deal.
Jace or Teferi.
Jace or Teferi. So I think Andrew has pretty clear upgrades in the 2 Gaddock Teagues, 2 Negates, that's 4. Maybe the Revoker, maybe the Rex Sage, and the 2 Unified Wills. So 3, 4. That's 8 cards. That's a lot.
A lot of cards to bring in. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to cut all of my accelerants.
Yeah, I think top decking birds is a pretty low impact, and I think Core to Calling, if the board's going to be clear, is also typically a card you see cut. That's 8 cards right there.
Yeah, I was going to say the Court of Callings are pretty bad because you just oftentimes don't have enough to make Court of Calling not a million mana, right? So I think that's pretty good, is maybe cutting the birds and cutting maybe even all the courts. I don't know. That's a lot, but trimming on them definitely. So matchup's good for Alan, it feels like. Does he have anything else he really wants in?
Oh, man. So he's got a sideboard Dispel if you're worried about collecting company, as well as, you saw the blue land.
Sure.
If Tenjum didn't show the blue land, maybe he doesn't bring in Dispel. But you're probably bringing it in because you saw blue.
Agree.
There's a Disenchant, which isn't good. A couple Rest in Peace. You could use, it doesn't stop the combo, but it does turn off Eternal Witness. I doubt he's bringing it in.
Yep.
We'll probably just be trying to counter those. Sure. He's got a couple Stonies. Again, not very good. A Negate. It just depends. Again, like how much blue is there?
Sure.
But he'll probably bring it in. Timely. I don't think Timely matters too much.
I don't think so either.
Geist, not a good one. Baneslayer Angel and Lyra Dawnbringer. Again, because of the combo threaten. It is a little interesting, though, because you can't expect Andrew to maybe try to be a value creatures deck more than a combo deck post-board. So bringing those in, might be good enough. If you're doing that, you could just cut your 2 Teferi. It would also make you a little bit better against cards like Revoker, Pithing Needle.
Yeah. I just find it hard for me to find cards to cut in Alan's deck that aren't.
I think Teferi's too slow.
Teferi could be too slow. Nimble Obstructionist as a one of. I don't know that you want that card either.
Can't imagine it doing much. The Timely, like I said, he could probably cut.
This sensor has to be nonsense. Because of one sensor. They have an infinite
he also
mana,
has
guys.
these illuminations that, he could cut if he wanted.
I think the card draw's okay.
Well, you can also, Terminus on top, cycle your illumination if you need to.
That's true. Yeah, so I don't know. It's uphill for Andrew. He has to win 2 post-board games. He has the tools here, so we'll see how it goes. I wonder if he switches less onto the combo, more to the beatdown style.
I think he said he should. I think that should be the plan. If you're bringing in, all these Negates and Gaddock Teagues and Unified Will.
Attack, Phyrexian Revoker, attack. Yeah.
Yeah, you should just be attacking that strategy.
Sure. Tenjum's hand looks pretty okay. I thought I saw a Revoker in there, but I might be wrong.
Second copy of Jace picked up
Wow.
for Alan.
Alan just going to go super aggro down to 18. And Tenjum's going to go down to 19.
He has an Opt, and I believe he has a...
I thought it was an Oust is the other card I saw.
He has an Oust as well. So the shock there is...
Yeah, it's flexible, which is great.
It's fine.
And you know what? His life total isn't really under duress in this matchup, as we saw the last game.
Right, but I do again, I think the dynamic of this changes post-board.
Let's see. So Tenjum going to get out a Temple Garden here. Beautiful Temple Garden, by the way. Going to be standard legal soon.
True.
That's just...
True statements.
It's cool to me that some of these cards are coming back in standard. Temple Garden, and it makes the formats more accessible, modern to newer players who are say, or we're going to get in on Guilds of Ravnica. Well, now you have Shocklands, so that's pretty sweet, I think. Okay.
This is a card, I think, that shows that some number of the combo is still in the deck. Devoted Druid definitely gets cut a lot of times when you're cutting all of the combo.
Looks like there's a bunch of lands in Alan's hand, a Logic Knot, a pair of Jaces, I think. That's not good. A pair of Jaces is no good. So this is my problem with things like Logic Knot too, is like, and Center. Tenjum just doesn't care about those cards right now. He can pay for he can pay for these cards. Anything he's going to cast, he can pay for right now.
I mean,
to get through
unless you like try to jam a collected company, which I don't think we're going to see. Actually, he can pay for that too.
Yeah, he can pay for it.
Yeah,
I mean, he just has
the Devoted Druid untap.
Yeah, he has tons of mana.
Gives him that extra mana. Oh, it looks like we are going to see a Tireless Tracker. Yeah, Tireless Tracker, so good. Is that?
No, I don't think so.
Is that not a Tireless Tracker?
No, I don't think so. That's a Vizier Remedies. Man, that's crazy. It looks just like one though, a little bit.
It did in his hand, I swear.
Brad having some technical difficulties.
That's a fantastic card to bring in.
Oh yeah, if we had it, yeah. Unfortunately, Andrew does not have it.
I was looking. I was like, we might have to call a judge in a second. No, my bad.
It's all good. It's all good. We're still early, man. This is round 2. You can make all kinds of mistakes till we get in the flow. It's totally fine.
So if this resolves, it's infinite mana.
Yeah, is he thinking about like knotting this? There's no way you can knot this, right?
No, definitely not. But your knot doesn't do anything.
I mean, none of his cards in his hand do anything at this point. He's like, I think he has 3 Jaces in his hand.
That's 3?
I'm pretty sure there's 3. There's at least 2.
That's all of them if it's 3.
That'd be so bad. All right, then we're going to go down to 18. I assume he's going to go down to 16 here to get probably a blue source, unless he needs the white.
Well, yeah, if he gets a blue and he has like Unified Will or something, he can use his infinite green mana, assuming he has the pieces.
There you go.
And then he's protected with Unified Will.
So down to 16, I believe, here for Andrew.
In case there's like a negate out of Alan's side or something.
Man, I'm pretty sure that's 3. 1, 2. I think he has 3.
I can't tell.
Oh, goodness. That's brutal.
I think he only started with 1 as well.
I'm pretty sure you're right. So Andrew has a negate.
He does have a negate. Okay.
Comes the Bugler.
So he has to find Dustwatch Recruiter here. He has 3 copies.
There you go. So Alan actually, combo. I noticed too before. Hopefully Alan doesn't. He might scoop him up.
He had to tap blue mana though.
Right. So Alan has this Baneslayer Angel actually in his deck post board too. I just got a quick glimpse of that, so it's something to note as we move forward here.
Maybe Andrew next leveled him and said,
"I'm just going to combo you."
The typical plan is to go beat down. I'm just going to bring in these counters.
That's a good one. Andrew just has infinite mana. So Andrew looks like he's looking at a million cards. That's because he is. He has infinite mana.
That's true. He has infinite green mana.
Infinite green mana, excuse me. So I'll bring up the cards here so we can kind of go through it if you're not familiar with the combo here. So Devoted Druid is a card that's being tapped. It's just not being visibly shown here.
Well,
so
he's already done it. Yeah.
So Devoted Druid, when you tap it, adds a green mana to your pool. Put a -1/-1 counter on it. Okay, so that's combo card number 1. So part of the combo number 2 is going to be Vizier. Let's see if I can spell today. Vizier of Remedies. So Vizier of Remedies says if 1 or more -1/-1 counters will be put on a creature you control, that many -1/-1 counters are put on instead. So this Devoted Druid just never dies. Okay, so then we generate infinite green mana.
Yep.
And then so Tenjum, as I'm talking about this, goes through the motions with the Duskwatch Recruiter, which we're going to get to next, and Andrew Tenjum are going to win game 2.
Table Judge said 1 trillion mana.
1 trillion mana.
That's how much mana Ender decided to float.
Very good. So
one thing to note when you're playing Magic, you can't say infinite.
It's not a number.
You have to actually name a number.
So we're going to get to the... So we had the infinite mana piece locked down. So now for the third piece is the Duskwatch Recruiter, which is 2 and a green is the activated ability. So you look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom in any order. So Andrew can do that 1 billion times, or however many times he sees fit. Okay, right. So Andrew had the infinite, and I'll say infinite just for logistics' sake. So he had unlimited mana. So he's going to activate this ability over and over and over and over again until Alan does something, or until he finds, which is his combo card, which is a newer card. So it's this Walking Ballista. So he can dump all of his mana into Walking Ballista. Alan was at 18, shoots Alan for 18, game's over.
Yep. So
it's a 4-card combo, basically.
But they're all creatures.
Right.
So, and everything except for the Devoted Druid. The Devoted Druid just helps you ramp. So you can play Coco on 3. Vizier is just a 2/1. It's not great, but it's a 2-mana 2/1, so it does beat down, especially alongside like Noble Hierarchs. And the Duskwatch Recruiter is actually big game on its own. Like, you're just finding value if you activate it. if it does ever flip, it makes your creatures cost 1 less. It's just all of the creatures are just like value creatures. So it's not like you're just playing this bad set of combo. I mean, they're not great, but they're not 0-1.
Yeah, and the combo is super consistent with things like obviously Court of Calling gets any card typically.
Yep.
Collected Company is a hit most of the time.
Yep.
Oddly enough, I say it's consistent, and we watch Militia Bugler miss, but Militia Bugler enables all these cards to be good individually because you can grab whatever piece you're missing at the time. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a big upgrade to this deck. Honestly, a Militia Bugler is.
I tend to agree with you.
So let's see what we get to.
So I saw Alan reboard. He brought in 2 cards. I saw one of them was Nimble Obstructionist.
Okay.
Not a big fan of that.
Sure.
I can't think of how it would disrupt the combo in any way.
Okay.
Because like you can counter 1 activation of the combo, but you're doing the activations infinitely.
Gotcha. So I caught a glimpse of Tenjum's hand there too, and he has this Phyrexian Revoker in hand. So, and Alan has Settled Wreckage.
I think
too?
I saw a Settled Wreckage, a Hieroglyphic Illumination.
Yeah. So Tenjum going to go get this Breeding Pool first, which kind of leads me to believe that he has some of the blue spells maybe in hand already, or just not a second fetch land at this point.
Yeah.
So this one could get good here. So Andrew going to take a draw here. And there's a Vizier of Remedies and an Eternal Witness in his hand as well. So Tenjum has a lot of great tools going on.
E-Witness isn't at its best in this matchup because a lot of Alan's removal is going to be XL effects.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it's still a good card. A lot of times you'll see players, especially in a matchup like this, just E-Wit back for a fetch land.
Sure.
Just to get some value.
So Tenjum going to go ahead and play Vizier of Remedies. Takes 1 off the Horizon Canopy, and at his end step, Alan's going to go ahead and opt. Looks like he found an Oust with that opt.
And another thing is Devoted Druid can't tap for mana the turn you play it. So
Right.
typically when your opponent plays a turn 2 Vizier, it means they don't have a Devoted Druid in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be a little less worried about that. Looks like
You opting again?
I think he's ousting.
Okay. Going to oust this. Tenjum going to go up to 20, I believe.
So I guess my point there is like it's not like he didn't really need to do that
To oust?
to oust then.
Yeah.
He could have waited till something was on the stack, but I mean, he did show.
Oh, goodness. Gaddock Teak.
Like-
that is a great card. Well, that shuts off a lot of cards in Alan's deck.
And now he doesn't have an oust.
All right, well, Alan's going to read. Yeah, Alan's going to read Gaddock Teague, and that's a dagger, honestly. So we're going to read Gaddock Teague as well. Gaddock Teague is green-white 2/2. It is a legendary Kithkin advisor. So notable text on this card: non-creature spells with converted mana cost of 4 or greater can't be played. So we're talking Settle the Wreckage, Cryptic Command, Jace,
It's
Teferi.
two-sided too, so he can't cast Cocos anymore.
Right. So now that's on there, and then non-creature spells with X in their CMC can't be played. So if he has something like not Settle the Wreckage, excuse me, Secure the Waste or anything like that, just not happening. So
Again,
Gaddock
also
Teague did.
means Andrew can't cast Court of Calling.
Right. And I assume those are gone. We didn't see any.
Yeah, I mean the Cocos are probably in for sure, but the I would assume the Courts are out.
So Alan has this Settle the Wreckage that just doesn't do anything.
I think we're gonna
Go get that
field
blue.
the blue source.
Yeah, and so just so we can take a peek here, Andrew's on only 6 forests. He has 6
Oh,
forests and a plains here, so I'd be surprised if a forest is not the get.
Yep. So he can't get blue, which I would expect him not to play island.
Yep.
We know he's missing land, so getting a land out of the deck is a small percentage, very, very small.
Yep.
But Andrew's going to take some damage on this land. I don't think it's going to matter too much, just given Alan's playing blue-white control, but...
So how do you feel? So these kind of turns are interesting to me. I think it's about to be Andrew's turn. How do you feel about attacking with Gaddock Teague into like a Snapcaster at this point? Do you care? It's your best card, right?
I think I would put Alan on not having Snap,
Okay.
mostly because why wouldn't he just Snap Oust?
Snap oust this card. Sure, that makes sense. So you just like go get him.
I think you have to.
I agree.
Like, you can't wait around forever.
After you deduce, yeah, that he didn't.
I do like
Snap
Andrew playing something pre-combat.
Yep.
If it is going to get countered, then you know the way is clear for sure.
Yep. If you're going to counter, go nuts. If not, here's my Duskwatch Recruiter. And Duskwatch Recruiter is actually going to help Andrew a bunch, assuming that Alan just doesn't do anything this turn. Because I forgot the name of the flipped side of Duskwatch Recruiter, but it makes your creatures cost one less.
Yes.
And I think actually Andrew has a Eternal Witness in his hand, so he'll be able to get back a land and start playing.
Sure.
Start playing the game again.
So it looks like I see an opt here. probably wants to cast that this turn.
Wow, just going to let this flip. Yeah, now he's going to... Now, I think Alan said I'll pass, and then Andrew said my turn, and then Alan said I want to read this card now.
Yeah, just given Andrew's constraints on mana, I don't like giving him the option of having, more of it.
I don't love it. So, yeah, you're going to have to do this at some point here.
Yeah, I think you just opt.
I agree. You can't let this card flip. Andrew's choked on mana. That's his bottleneck at this point. I think you have to do this. There's a Jace. Can't cast that one. 3 cards in his hand that he can't cast. There's a Cryptic Command, a Jace, and a Settle the Wreckage.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where, like, you've read the card before. The fact that you're reading it again means I know you've drawn a spell that's 4 or more.
Exactly. You just gave away a lot of info.
Yeah, so I think Andrew's gonna. Oh, that's a Shalai.
That's a Shalai. Andrew is really breaking pretty hard here. So there's another thing is Andrew doesn't have to play a card this turn either. So he can flip his own.
He might not be able to play.
You're not wrong, sir. You are not wrong.
Now he has to decide like how he's gonna attack.
And he didn't attack last turn with this Gaddock Teeg also.
Right, and I don't think he'll do it this turn if he didn't do it last turn.
Yeah.
But I think you're taking with Dustwatch Recruiter. I'm not sure.
Well, now Alan has this Vendilion Click in
Yeah.
hand as well, so that's kind of rough. Down to 17 for Andrew. It's a Phyrexian Revoker. Yep. And we're gonna name from our judge here, and I'd be very surprised if it's not just Jace at this point.
Yep.
All right, so naming Jace the Mind
I think
Sculptor.
he's gonna click. Oh, I thought he'd click himself.
Andrew just has a million cards. Wow.
His hand is very good if he gets to unlock it.
Yeah, if he hits a fetch land, he's gonna be in a really great shape the rest of the game.
I mean, really, he just needs a land, so you can E-whip back a land, and then he's
Man,
completely unlocked.
What do you take? Do you have to take the negate here? Like in case you find a removal spell to get rid of this Gaddock Teeg? Like if you find an oust or a path?
He has no blue mana.
That's a thing, but like if you let him unlock it, is that... I don't know. That's so scary. I don't know. I don't envy Alan's position at this point. I don't... Take the combo piece. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's the only card he can cast.
That's fair too. So Tenjum getting paid off for not attacking. There's Teferi.
Gosh.
Can't cast that one either.
Nope. His hand is just all 4 mana.
Mono
and
force.
above. Yep.
So it's
Settle,
Wow.
Cryptic, Jace, Teferi is his hand right now. Ooh.
wow. We're gonna race.
Is there a Colonnade?
There is a Colonnade. The
Okay.
top card is a Colonnade.
Sure. That makes sense.
But now we're flipping this.
Right, so now we can E-wit.
It's something Howler of something. I think is the name of this card. Man, look how good I am at this game.
You are good.
Kralin Horde Howler. So this is the flipped version of Recruiter, Duskwatch Recruiter. So it's a 3/3, which is big. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less at the beginning of each upkeep. If players cast 2 or more spells, you can transform it back to the flip side. So the Kralin Horde Howler is active.
And I don't see it flipping back anytime soon, just given the mana situation.
I don't think so either. So this unlocked his hand again here, though. So now it gets to get Eternal Witness, which I assume is going to go get a land.
Yeah, I think you have to decide between fetch land or not. I was going to say
I think it's a fetch land because you need...
it's pretty close.
I don't know. Fetch down to 16, I believe, here for Andrew. It's 20 to 14 now. Sorry. Had Alan not taken any damage? Okay.
I don't see any fetch lands.
Okay. So 20 to 14 here. 20 to 11 now.
Fetch shock.
Yeah, so fetch shock. So, honestly, Tenjum's on a 2-turn clock with this, with the Colonnade plus
the
click.
yeah.
So does he have any way to remove these things? So I guess he has Shalai. Oh, he has Shalai in his hand, I believe.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Selfless Spirit.
Selfless Spirit's a good one.
It's okay.
The blocker.
Alan really needs to find a path to exile.
I agree. So he casts 2 spells, and a Duskwatch Recruiter's alive. I thought that was a Terminus. I would have been just in stitches.
It doesn't work though.
I know. I would have been stitches if that was Terminus. Just can't cast that one either. Is it another J? Oh, it's a hieroglyphic. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's digging.
you can cycle it.
What's that one? Is that a Baneslayer? Sure is.
I mean, you can cast that one.
Sure.
That one seems good. You
So
should,
Alan
you should
is-
probably cast that one out.
Alan's playing blue-white flyers.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think Alan was really thinking here, like, am I supposed to try to rep something like a dispel or? And I think given how the game has played out, the answer has to be no. And I think Alan came to the right conclusion as well.
Tenjum finds a land. What does that do? So he has a collected company in his
But
hand.
he can't cast it.
Can't cast. He has.
I think he has a bugler, but his Dustwatch isn't flipped, so I don't see him being able to bugler plus. Like, he's missing 2 combo pieces. The Voda Druid has to be on the field already.
Are we playing Shalai?
So I feel like
Shalai's probably the best card here, right? Protects you against this Path Exile.
Shalai seems good.
Now what?
Alan can attack with Baneslayer next turn, and Andrew could block with Selfless Spirit and sack it.
This is a tough game.
I don't know if he'll do that, but
So
here's the thing. I think Alan's like hurting a bit, but I don't think he's out of this quite yet.
yeah, I feel like Andrew's ahead, but it's still close.
A Path and a Snapcaster Mage are probably the 2 best cards Alan
Yeah,
is looking for.
You're not wrong.
Oh, he's got a Snap.
So he has
Snap Oust, but it has to be on the Shalai.
Yes.
And I think he needs to do it now. Ooh.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
here's what I like.
Go ahead.
Colonnade fired up.
Okay.
Attack. Oust the Shalai. It's instant speed, right? Or is it
Oust?
sorcery?
Yeah, Oust is instant, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, right, he did on instant.
Right.
Oh, it's sorcery.
Excuse
okay,
me.
so he can't do that. Oh, man, that's brutal. If he had 1 more mana, he'd be able to do it.
I was trying to think here.
So I guess he could. Oh, he didn't need to snap Oust anyway. He doesn't have that Oust in
Right.
his hand. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So I think he has to snap Oust to Shalai. I think
And we have to oust the Shalai.
like he has no choice.
Yeah, because that's the one that's protecting everything.
It's the only target he can have.
Yep. So that's 1 card deep, and we're just firing in.
Yeah.
Man, what do we do?
I'm expecting.
Just eating this? Yeah. And taking, what, 5 here? Yeah, take 5.
You could have prevented life gain.
So it's 25 to 8 now. All right, well, because of the oust, Andrew gained that life.
Right.
And then
took 5.
took 5. So 1 card deeper is the Shalai again. If that gets on the table again, he might be in trouble. Like, Alan might be in trouble again. Andrew trying to find a line to win this game.
The Galactique's definitely helping him.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much he knows that.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a good card.
So yeah, this man.
Is that enough? Because you could attack with the Galactique now.
Sure could. So we're gonna take 1. So Andrew taking damage leads me to believe that something good is happening. So yeah, there's this militia bugler.
I'm thinking he maybe was supposed to attack first.
That's kind of a dud at this point for me.
I'm not sure.
Yep. Andrew has to shuffle these cards. They don't go back in any
they
order
gotta
you
be
wish.
random.
So find a noble hierarch. So, man, I'm trying to find ways for Andrew to win this game at this point.
This was my thought of like maybe he's just only on combo now and I'm attacking or just plain wrong.
I mean, Andrew's dead on board at this point.
Yeah, with the colonnade.
The colony, yeah.
That is true.
So yeah, I think Andrew's trying to find a way to navigate around lethal. So yeah, I'm just taking this if I'm Alan. Easy take.
I still think a path from Alan locks it up, but he's still in really good shape.
There's a plains. So I mean, he's just gonna fire up this colonnade, right, and just make you have it. I think Andrew's just dead. I don't know what Andrew could have. Yep, just dead.
Wow. And what's crazy is like this Galactique did work.
Yeah, Galactique was excellent.
Like it stopped 4 cards in Alan's hand.
Yeah.
But we talked about cutting the Teferis, which he didn't do. So now I'm curious, like, what he cut for the Baneslayer and Lyra.